Welcome to the Voluson Tech Tips for Swift. SonoAVCfollicle is an easy-to-use tool for follicle monitoring to count and measure stimulated follicles based on 3D ultrasound, helping to reduce exam time as well as inter- and intra-observer variability and improving the patient experience. While imaging the ovary, optimize the image for depth, brightness, etc., then select 3D, then SonoAVC. Move and size the region of interest or ROI box either via touch or with trackball and top trackball key. Making the ROI as close as possible to the ovarian boundaries and choosing a rounded box can help reduce post-processing time with the automated method with less false positives detected outside the ovary. The volume angle determines how far the elements will sweep across the ovary. So if you find you're collecting a lot more information outside the ovary, the volume angle can be reduced for a smaller sweep. Choose the preferred measurement method. We will review all three, but start with the manual method. With an image in the center of the ovary, choose Start Right Ovary or Start Left Ovary. Once selected, the probe will begin the sweep across the ovary. Once the acquisition is complete, the ovary will appear as a single plane in the center of the ovary. Slide with one finger along the right side of the image to shift from one side of the ovary to the other. When at one end, find a follicle to measure and measure with the trackball and set keys. Measurements can be done with an ellipse or a double caliper. This can be defaulted within the system measurement setup. After measuring, shift through the ovary, finding follicles and measuring. Notice the follicle list building on the right side of the touch monitor. As more follicles are added, they will reorder based on size. The great thing about this manual method is it allows you to measure in a familiar way with the benefit of using 3D and not accidentally measuring the same follicle twice. Tap Add to Report to send these measurements to the worksheet. Storing the volume will also enable you to perform these measurements after the exam when the patient is no longer on the table. With the semi-auto method, perform the acquisition in the same manner. Then shift to one side of the ovary. This time, simply tap on a follicle. The system will analyze the follicle in all dimensions and produce measurements based on the best-fitting ellipsoid. Continue shifting and tapping until you have completely moved through the entire ovary. The benefit of the semi-auto method is that it allows the user to control which follicles they want measured, producing 3 distances, as well as volume measurements of the follicle, and it's much faster than measuring manually. There is the option to add a manual measurement at any time. Once again, you'll see the measurements building on the right side in order based on size. With the auto method, all follicles are measured automatically at once. Shift through each of the planes to review. If you want to remove a measured follicle, simply tap it. If you want to add a follicle not found, tap it. Show the ovary in quad display or in full screen. This fully automated method really helps save valuable time. Tap Add to Report to send the measurements to the worksheet. With each of these methods, you have display options to show or hide the contour or fill the contour of follicles. There is also an option to start over by selecting New Analysis. Select the report icon to view the patient report. Follicles are laid out in order from largest to smallest. With the semi-auto and auto methods, you'll see 3 dimensions, a mean diameter, a volume, and a relaxed follicular diameter. This last measurement is a diameter based on a sphere of the volume of the follicle. If the follicle were not under pressure from surrounding follicles and could relax and become a sphere. The report also shows trending when plotted over several days. There are a few additional tools and options in the semi-auto and auto methods. Cut will allow separation for two follicles that were found as one. Merge will join two follicles. Growth will reanalyze the volume. Increasing causes the algorithm to expand closer to the wall. Use if it appears the measurements are not reaching the walls. Lower if it appears the measurements are too far into the follicle walls. The auto method has an additional separation tool. Increase if you find follicles are joining together. Lower the setting if individual follicles are separating into more than one follicle. Thanks for watching this Voluson tech tip for Swift. For more product information, check out the other videos here on the Voluson Club.